Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is Straight Talk Tuesday with Michael Wenniger, Asante Organics CEO, and I've asked you guys for some topics, whether it's about the networking industry, corporate entities, whether it's about products, ingredients, and why do I feel that I'm a good source of information. I've been in the networking industry for 32 years and became extremely successful in the industry. And 22 years, I was doing consulting with all the biggest companies in the world in this industry, from internal infrastructure to compensation plan design and fixing to compliance, everything. And so here we are today. And we're going to handle a topic for Susan Hunter Siegel, right? And she says what she would like for us to do is educate a little bit on greenwashing. Whoa, greenwashing. What is that? That's when the companies trick the consumers into buying their products. They allow organic or non-toxic or whatever the percentage, 99% organic, or talking about natural ingredients, hidden ingredients to look for. And we're going to talk about that, right? Let's start out with natural, because I've heard it plenty and plenty of times. And if you hear a lot of noise in the background, we're busting out the walls, we're expanding, so pardon the noise, right? So let's get back. We're going to talk a little bit about natural. What is natural? It's a sad day today, because natural means absolutely nothing. Natural is a marketing word. It's an adjective, all right? It's not natural. There's nothing natural. For goodness sakes, cocaine, that's natural, all right? So when a company's talking about natural, we're going to talk about some ingredients that are synthetic, man-made ingredients that are directly linked to cancer and kidney diseases and liver diseases and a lot of other really terrible issues. That is not natural. All right, now let's go to the word non-toxic. All right, well, again, a made-up word. Now, toxic-free, that is different, because the toxic-free foundation will come into your headquarters, into your manufacturing, and do a slew of inspections, and they will inspect from the ingredient, where it came from. They'll watch all the way through processing, so no chemicals or heat hit it, through manufacturing, through the whole course, from the time you get that ingredient, where it came from the ground, when it got put into the ground, all the way into the finished project. Then you can use the toxic freeze foundation seal. Now, 6 companies I know exist in the world use that seal. Why? It's a very stringent inspection. So my question is to the owners out there, why not get on the phone and call these guys? And if your products really don't have toxic ingredients, instead of using a made-up word like non-toxic, because again, we're going to talk about some ingredients to look for in these so-called non-toxic products. And you know what? There's synthetic man-made chemicals that are linked to the cancers, to the immune toxicity and the neurotoxicity and the all different types of toxicity, right? Endocrine toxicity, everything. And if that's toxic, that is not labeled non-toxic. So again, a made-up word for marketing purposes only. Now, there's some companies out there, and they say, made with 79% organic ingredients. What? 79%? What about the other, 21%? What's going on here? Let me tell you something. You are either 100% chemical-free, 100% toxic-free, and certified and well-crafted ingredients, or you're using chemicals. There's nothing in between. I don't care if a company is telling you that they are 99% organic and chemical-free. The bottom line is, one drop just one drop of a toxic chemical will ruin the entire formulation. And now you got chemicals. Now we'll talk a little bit about retail. Well, this applies for both retail and the relationship marketing or networking industry. But when you look and you go to these different organic markets that are out there, and we know consumer awareness is up. It is, right? It's going through the roof because we're watching companies make announcements all day long. We're taking this out, we're taking that out, and all these different types of ingredients to try because consumer awareness is going through the roof, and so is the consumer pressure because consumers are getting educated and they don't want to use chemicals. They don't want to use them anymore. But when you go to these organic places, all these different stores that are out there, and you know which ones we're talking about, you might be able to buy a piece of broccoli that says it's organic, that's raw, sitting there. Absolutely. You might be able to go into the fruit section and get some, organic strawberries or mango and things like that. Absolutely. But you know what? There's not one of those stores that they have organic aisles. There's not one product, not one, you're going to find in that aisle. Bring it to me. Let's go through the ingredients, and you won't find one product in those aisles that are 100% organic. You won't. And it'll say it's a percentage of it. And there is no such thing as a percentage of it. Again, you're using chemicals, you're using no chemicals, one or the other, right? Or you're chemical free. So let's talk about some of these ingredients we should look for on labels that these companies are saying we're natural, we're non-toxic, we're this percentage of whatever, organic and things like that. Let's look at the most obvious things that you should be looking for. How about phenoxyethanol? Okay? Phenoxyethanol. It's a man-made synthetic chemical that was directly found, an article in Skin Inc. magazine that was directly linked to 98% of all breast cancer removals. You don't want to be using phenoxyethanol or ethylhexylglycerin. That's another form of phenoxyethanol. Again, a synthetic man-made chemical that is directly linked to cancer and all these other types of toxicity. How about polysorbate? And polysorbate comes in 20, 40, 60, 80. It comes in all different numbers. Don't be using polysorbate. Again, everything we're talking about here are synthetic man-made chemicals. That these chemicals do nothing for the hair. There's no benefit to them. Does nothing for your skin. But I'll tell you what, they get into your bloodstream, and the most horrible issue about those chemicals getting into your bloodstream is they don't expel. They do not release themselves out of your bodies. What they do is they find a weak area of your body, and they go and they sit there and they wait for more friends, more different types of chemicals. And then every year you're getting a good doctor's report. Boom, your great report. Oh my goodness, now I got a bad doctor's report. How did I get this? We're going to have to recheck. No, that's what's going on. And when you look at most of the things that are happening today, it's because of the chemicals we're putting into ourselves and onto ourselves. So we talked about a couple already. How about dyes? Dyes, whether they're red dyes or yellow dyes, for goodness sakes. Taco Bell and Pizza Hut are two companies I know off the top of my head. Within a month ago, they made big announcements. We're taking dyes out of and some other preservatives out of our food because they saw what happened to one of the biggest chains in the world when they said, we're a brand. And they didn't do anything, and the next week they closed down 900 stores. So why is it that these companies out there are getting it and taking dyes out of their products, and some of the companies in the networking industry are adding dyes into their products? How about glycols and PEGs, right? Glycols and PEGS. Whatever you're reading, if it ends in the word glycol, you're looking at ingredients that are found in antifreeze, in brake fluid, in really strong industrial floor cleaners. Those are chemicals, and they're not linked to some really terrible things. How about sodium hydroxymethylglycinate? Wow, that's a long word. It's a formaldehyde releaser. It releases formaldehyde inside your system, into the bloodstream. Again, other companies out there saying we're taking the formaldehyde out of our products, and we're watching companies using sodium hydroxymethylglycinate. All these things I've mentioned, all of them are, and another thing is collagens and elastins. There's no plant-made collagens and elastins. Those are coming from premature chickens or, exterior horses, cow parts, those types of things. Everything we've mentioned. No benefit whatsoever. None for the skin. Zero. Or the hair. Or yourself. Or your body. This is stuff that's building up. So, you know what? Start reading your labels. That's the message. And you don't have to know what everything is. I'll tell you the proper way to read a label. Don't read from the top and start going down. Read from the last ingredient and go backwards. That's where you're going to find all those hidden chemicals. All those synthetic hidden chemicals that are in these companies' products that are called natural, that are called non-toxic. I just explained some of the toxins, all right? So start reading those backwards. And again, they're words that just don't even exist. They're made up in order to make you feel a little safe. But when you learn how to read labels, that's when you know you will be safe. And I guess that is it. And I hope you guys learned a little bit today about some ingredients, about greenwashing. There is no percentages. You're either 100% chemical free and using organic and well-crafted ingredients, or you're using chemicals. I had a guy tell me our stuff is all botanical. And guess what? I found all these things that I just mentioned in their product. Well, he hasn't called me back yet, but don't believe what you're told. Because all these different ingredients that I just listed, we can find down at the dollar store. And if we can go into the dollar store and look at a formula and find those ingredients in there, and knowing that they're only charging $1, they're making a profit. So why are these high-end companies and networking companies using the same type of ingredients that you can find down at the dollar store? You're supposed to get involved in this industry to find better product than down there. So again, thank you for watching. God bless your day, God bless your families, your businesses, and keep on giving me some topics that you want to, get educated on from anything. From the bottom all the way to the top of any of the companies, how they work, how they exist, how comp plans work, how ingredients work, how manufacturing works, how anything you want. Keep the information coming in, and I'll be glad to talk about it. And that is this week's Straight Talk Tuesday. And until next week, have a great week. Be safe.